You should get a cloak rack in here. Has anyone ever told you that? Oh, I like this. It reminds me of when I fought the Tibetan Bushmen. Are we, good? You like my new cloak? I got it. Some guy outside. Are we good? Hello, I'm Prince Phillip, and I'm going to tell you all about how I got to marry the most beautiful woman in all the land. I was riding through the forest one day on my horse Samson when, wouldn't you know it, I heard the most angelic voice I had ever heard in my life. So we began to move forward quickly to this voice, and we jumped over a stream, and I fell clean off my horse. And so I was soaking wet, sodden, and I needed to begin to disrobe, but it was a children's movie, so I didn't completely don't worry, I didn't take all my clothes off, but I had to take off my hat here and my cape and my boots, and wouldn't you know it, some woodland creatures came along and pilfered them right out from under my nose. But being the extra tracker that I am, I decided to follow them, and I saw the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my entire life. So I came up behind her, I grabbed her waist and her hand, and we began to dance and sing the afternoon away. It was love at first sight, if there ever was. And so we decided that we were going to meet later that evening. I was in love with her, and she was in love with me, and even though she pretended not to be, I could see right through that facade. But the only problem was I had to go tell my dad, the king. And he wasn't going to like that much because he was expecting me to marry his best friend, King's daughter, the princess. So I told him, it's the 14th century. We got to get with the times. I got to follow my heart. And so we decided that I would marry this lowly peasant girl. He really didn't have any say. I just kind of rode away before he could say anything. And the only problem was I didn't know that Aurora didn't know that the fairies hadn't told her that she was actually the princess. So, of course, my dad didn't know that I didn't know that she did. Well, I'm confusing you and myself. But basically, what it means is she was the princess all along. So everything was hunky-dory. Except, well, I was riding back to the little cottage in the middle of the forest. She was going to the castle. She was going to see her dad and become the princess and all these things and not even tell me about it. But it's all right. It all ended up working out, except Maleficent showed up and made her prick her finger, and she fell into a sleep that was like the sleep of death. This really was a problem, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was at the cottage, and I didn't know, and so I opened the door, and wouldn't you know it, these troll, goblin thing, they're animals with, they're like demonic, and it's really loosely defined, but there were thousands of them in there, 5, 10, 100,000 of them in there, and I, killed the first 100, 2, 300 of them, but eventually I had to succumb to their numbers, and so they took me to the mountain where the evil witch Maleficent lived, and I was chained to the wall for months, or, well, not really months, but weeks. Not weeks, but like days. Well, okay, hours, like minutes. 20 minutes. 20 perilous minutes. And I didn't know what I was going to do. They told me I wouldn't be able to get out till I was 100, and I didn't want to wait for that, so I just got up all my courage, and the fairies came along, and they told me they could help me out, and they gave me a sword and a shield, and I jerked my chains right off the walls, and I burst out of that dungeon, fighting left and right, hacking goblins to pieces, or whatever they are. We talked about it earlier. I'm not quite sure. But I'm hacking them left and right, and I'm all the stuff, and I was riding towards the castle, but that evil crow, man, he told Maleficent that I was getting away, and so thorn bushes began to sprout up, and I thought, this hair is going to get through the briar patch, so I began to hack and slice my way through, and wouldn't you know it, there was purple smoke, a flash of light, green fire everywhere. Maleficent had turned herself into a dragon. I didn't even know she could do that. But, being the calm, cool, and collected guy that I am, I began to fight her back. Cling, clang, bang, pow, cow, pa-pow, ka-cham! All the comic book graphics and drop kick from the top rope, and then it was over. She was done, and I was the winner. All that was left for me to do was to climb the tower, kiss the girl, and dance the night away. My dad was pretty confused because he thought I was going to marry a peasant girl and, whatever. And she had the crazy dress on. It was changing colors as we were dancing. It was something to behold, but hey, never let it be said that Prince Philip doesn't fight for his princess. I'm not like some of these princes around here just waiting around princesses falling into their laps. I'm a man! And I do manly things. Oh, did I ever tell you about the time I fought the mega troll?